Hi guys, Little Aussie Mel here doing my week 31 post VSG update. Sorry I'm a little bit late. It was a public holiday here on Monday when I normally do my updates for the Queen's birthday. So I had my two little girls here with me all day, so totally impossible to do a video with them around. So my highest ever weight was 105 kilos, 231 pounds. My pre-up diet starting weight was 97.4 kilos or 214 pounds. This week I weighed in at 71 kilos exactly, which was I think a 300 gram loss. So that's probably just over half a pound, like maybe 3/4 of a pound, something like that. Yeah. So so pretty, I don't know, pretty annoying. I've, as you know, I've been going to the gym the last couple of weeks. So yeah, I had like no weight loss, and then I had, I think I had a gain, and then I lost. Yeah. Anyway, it's just been annoying me because I'm so close to getting into the 60s, and now I've just been hovering around the 70, 71 mark for probably like a month now. So anyway, hopefully I can get back, you know, it'll just pick up again when it's ready. I mean, like food-wise, I've been pretty good. I've been tracking on and off, not religiously, but over the last week I sort of tracked on and off, and I've been trying to be more mindful of what I'm eating, so I don't really think that's the issue. Yeah, I guess it just slows down a lot when you get this, you know, this sort of close to the end goal. So yeah, so I'll just keep on going and hope that I can get into that 60s mark soon. So I wanted to talk about a few things today, especially going to the gym. I've had just a lot of thoughts around that because I know, like in the past when I used to have phases of going to the gym when I was bigger, I've just noticed how different my mindset is going to the gym now. So, you know, when I was bigger, I would go to the gym and kind of slink in and slink out and not really talk to anyone in the classes or even make eye contact with people, especially if they looked fit. And the birds. Yeah, and I just sort of noticed that, like, how different my personality is going to the gym, feeling like I'm more of a normal person. I mean, I'm way more bubbly. I go into the class and, you know, I get there early, and as soon as people come into the room for the class, I'm saying hi and introducing myself and asking if they've done the class before, and I'm just like a totally different person there than what I've ever been before. So, yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Another interesting thing that happened was I got chatting to a girl there who just, I think with the Pilates class, we were both doing Pilates for the first time. And so we sort of kept chatting as we were walking out to the car, and she told me that she was like 91 kilos and, you know, wanted to lose quite a bit of weight, which was so strange because when I was sort of in the class and looking at her body, I sort of felt like we were kind of like the same kind of weight, or that we were like the same kind of level of fitness, or just sort of the same, like an even match. So for then her to tell me that she weighed 91 kilos and I'm weighing 71 kilos, it was just really weird for me to think that I'm that much lighter than her, and that I would possibly, to somebody else, that I would look that much lighter than her. So obviously my mind's still a bit out of step with my body there. And I also noticed too that when I go in the class, like my preferred spot to stand in the room is actually in front of this really big concrete pillar, so I don't actually have to look at myself in the mirrors. So I can still see the instructor fine, but I don't have to see myself. So I don't know, maybe I need to go and stand in a different part of the room where I can actually see my reflection. Because I guess I'm just my mind's probably assuming like an old picture of when I used to go to the gym when I was heavier and what I would have looked like exercising back then. So yeah, so maybe I just need to do that and let that sink in a little bit. So anyway, some interesting thoughts there. Something else I wanted to talk about was prejudice that kind of surrounds how big you are in the community. So, and I've been thinking about this because they're in one of the private forums, one of the Australian private forums for VSG. There was a woman in there who commented that, you know, are there any people out there who are 160 kilos plus? So that's, I don't know, I think that's like 340 pounds plus. Because she wanted to, because she just found it amusing or annoying. I forget her exact term of words, so sorry if I'm misquoting her, but I guess, she didn't really feel like she identified at all with people on that website, on that forum, who had VSG with only 30 to 40 kilos to lose, as she put it. So that's like, that's like 90 to 100 pounds. So I just found it really interesting that she couldn't identify with people who had that much weight to lose, and she even commented specifically that she didn't understand why people would have surgery when they only had 30 to 40 kilos to lose, and that why didn't they just diet and exercise to get the weight off, kind of the normal way, which just blew my mind that an obese person would have that mentality. And there was a lot of comments that other people made that reflected similar reaction to me, and some of them even said to her, well, if it was that easy to get the weight off, how come you didn't do it when you only had 30 to 40 kilos to lose, instead of now when you've got maybe 70 plus kilos to lose. And then it was kind of timely that the Size Queen Saturday show was sort of talking about the unique challenges that come with being super morbidly obese. I was morbidly obese when I started at 105 kilos, but not, by no means super morbidly obese. I guess they refer to, the lightweights in the community, which I guess I'd be classed as one of those. Which is totally fine, but sorry, I've got a few things I want to say, so my mind's all jumbled. I did actually, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to make videos, because when I was looking into the surgery, I couldn't really find a lot of videos from people who were a lightweight or my size, and I was worried that might, because I was seeing all these people heavier than me who were having really great success. I was worried that maybe it did only work that well for people who were bigger, and maybe I would have the surgery and only lose, I don't know, like 10 kilos, and that would be it for me. So that was part of the reason why I wanted to do videos. And then I have had a private message come through to me probably a month ago, I guess now, and sorry, I can't remember who it was that asked me, but they wanted to know if I had received as much support from the weight loss surgery community, even though I did have a lighter starting weight, and did I find that there was any kind of, prejudice feelings there, and absolutely I can say no, definitely not. I mean, I've just received so much support. And even, one of the first ever videos I did, Less of Sarah commented on it and offered me support. And she is, I love Sarah so much. She's just such an inspiration. And she started off needing to lose more weight than I ever actually weighed. And she has actually lost more weight than what I've ever weighed in my life. So she's lost, she lost me at my biggest. So, and she was still by no means at all unwelcoming to me in the community or anything like that. So yeah, so just some thoughts on that. Also, I wanted to talk about emotions, how your emotions change, and because a lot of people have asked me about emotional eating, and I did sort of try to talk on that last week, but my crazy driving video, so sorry I scared everybody with my crazy driving video. I'm really actually a pretty safe driver, I promise, but I think it looked really bad from the angle. And anyway, so I was kind of rambling. I didn't really get to the point that I was trying to make, but I guess I think the thing is that you have to be careful of, if you are an emotional eater and you're thinking about having the surgery, is that you I think as an overweight person, for me anyway, I'll just talk about my experience. For me, I just spent so much of my time and headspace thinking about the fact that I was overweight and that I was a failure for not being able to lose the weight, and shaming myself for not being able to get it together for long enough to get the weight off, and all that kind of stuff. And I think then when you start to find success with that and you start getting down towards your goal, or even early on when you just suddenly realize that, oh my gosh, this is actually going to work, it just frees up a lot of that mental anguish about being overweight, and all of a sudden you've got room to sort of let in a lot of other things that you might need to address in your life. And I think there was a quote I heard somewhere along in my life that was something like, what would you attempt to do if you knew you couldn't fail? And I think that kind of sums up how things change, because when you feel like you're defined by your failure of not being able to lose weight, it kind of holds you back from being courageous in other areas of your life. So when you're suddenly faced with success with something that you never thought was possible, it just opens the door a tiny little crack that maybe I can have all the things that I want in my life. So but I guess with that comes a lot of self-reflection and a lot of thinking and a lot of emotions that have come pouring out. So if you are someone who struggled with emotional eating in the past, it definitely, emotions will come up, and then you don't necessarily have the ability to deal with it with food the way you used to. You can certainly abuse your sleeve and find ways to snack and all those sorts of unhelpful things. So it's something that I think is absolutely critical to kind of realise going into it, that you're going to need to address that. And I think Nerd in Oregon, Sarah, in the Size Queen Saturday, she said, the gift, she was talking about the gift of surgery and the gift of losing weight, and she said, the gift is that all the problems you've been avoiding all your life, just in smaller clothes. So, and that's so true. It just, for me anyway, it's really just been a time about losing weight and finally really looking at who I am and all the stuff that comes with that. So it's definitely been a crazy ride. And it's sort of hard for your family to watch you go through that, because they kind of see it. I know my mum in particular, and even my husband to a certain extent, kind of look at all those changes going on, and they think that the surgery is to blame, or that it's all just happening because of the surgery. But I think it's so much more than that, and you can't necessarily understand it unless you've been through it yourself. So that's why the WLS community is so important, because these people will get you, and it just makes the journey so much easier. Anyway, I think I've rambled on for enough today. Thanks so much for all the questions that are coming in for my 500 subscriber giveaway video I'll do next week. It's probably going to cost me like $1,000 to ship the prize to America, but anyway, it's worth it. Thank you all so much, and I will see you next week. Bye.